Judge Hooks, and Attorney Scanlon.
Thank
We're
you,
happy
Cliff.
to have. I was looking around. I've got these two great folks here. I didn't realize our other great guest is on the line. Thank you, all of you. He's not on. Okay, I thought he was on. He's not on. I'm told by my producer, Glenda. I wasn't sure, but I do know this. Attorney Lori Roper, Supervisor, Problem Solving and Public Defender's Office in Veteran Courts in the 26th in California. It's great to see her again. Hi.
Hello.
How
How
you
are
doing?
you?
Good,
I'm
good, good. And Cook County Assistant Public Defender, Attorney Brian Scanlon. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Cliff. Thank you
Good,
very much.
good,
I
good.
talk a little too much, but
Oh no!
you get me
no,
going.
come on, you can always talk. You can always talk. What is going on now? Give us some 2020 updates on services and programs, and obviously we couldn't find two people better to fill us in on that.
Well, Cliff, I'd just like to steal the microphone for a second and start off. Under Judge Hook's supervision, a former Marine.
Yeah, right.
He has been running this Veterans Court, and if I could just give a little bit of background, that we have a 4-phase program. In our 4-phase program, one of the things we emphasize greatly to each of our vets is identifying issues, seeing where their problems are, strategies for identifying where they're going to go in life. Now, what does that mean for Judge Hooks? He has this new program. It's very innovative for our vets, and that's simply he's going to teach them to play chess. He wants to instill a sense of pride in them, and he also wants to get them so that they can see strategies in life. What are good moves in life? Now, this may seem a little simple. What are good moves and what are bad moves? But it starts with the chess, the novices. It starts with the other vets who actually know how to do this. I'm novice myself. I'm not sure about Lori here. But in the world of chess, which Judge Hooks likes to compare to life, there are more powerful people, but how strangely the pawns, the less powerful people, actually do carry a lot of weight and are very important to all of us. So one of the things we've done is we're reaching out to other veterans groups. We're not the only veterans group doing this, not just in court, but just in the VA in general. Playing chess seems to be an issue that a lot of places do for specifically that. How can we motivate you to see one move, not just for today? Too many in Lori's and I's clients only see today. They sell tomorrow for today. And they don't see beyond 2 or 3 moves. Okay, now we, as I told you last time, something I've learned about greatly is the emergency housing. Every vet is entitled to some place to live. What is the bedrock of your life when we start building these strategies? How can we move you forward? And well, one of the best things is, where are you going to lay your head tonight? And if you don't, if somebody out there knows of a homeless vet, then there are immediate emergency services before we get to being able to get an apartment, being able to get subsidized housing. So all this plays into my first thing, the chess. If you can think of anything you want to know more about that, or I could just continue on my soliloquy here. But I'm very excited about how every court date, we ask them, and some of the vets are timid. Well, I can't play chess. Why me? Well, because we want to teach you that forward vision.
This is, I think, a very interesting thing. I was over at the sheriff's office a number of years ago now, Sheriff Dart, and I heard all this noise and screaming and so forth, and I was wondering what was going on. I didn't want to be here doing a jailbreak. They were playing chess.
Yeah.
They were playing chess, and in fact, not only were they playing chess, they beat the Russians. So, that whole thing you're talking about, those of you who really care about the folks that are in your care, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
And
right.
just touching on what Brian discussed about the emergency housing, housing in and of itself is, as Brian said, just the bedrock of anyone's existence. where you're going to lay your head, and not only to consider where you're going to lay your head, where are you going to keep your things, your stuff, things that make you comfortable. And that, if a lot of our veterans, if they don't have that, I mean, can you imagine if you have medication you take, you're trying to lug that around with you all the time. If you have important papers like your DD-214, things of that nature that you keep with you, and being homeless and you're carrying that around, those items can easily be lost, and sometimes things can be difficult to replace. So yes, housing is very important, just to give our veterans a sense of belonging. And some of our veterans are suffering from PTSD, just to have a space
Sure.
where they can feel safe and protected. So the housing in and of itself is just so important. Brian, do you know of any, what is it that the veterans may need to do to try to engage in they just need to talk to the VA, or?
They just need to talk to the VA. If they're in our program, for example, as you know, we're at the criminal courthouse, if they come to us and we say, we're going to let you out, but I have nowhere to go. No, right then, our veterans outreach person finds an immediate place to live. Right
See,
then.
a lot of people have no idea of that. That's a great service.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
You know.
And then it all begins with that. From there, then the courtroom, if people know, I have an older vet or somebody who does have that dual diagnosis. Maybe there is a alcohol or a drug problem, but before that, we have to address any psychological needs. And unlike any other courtroom, we can do dual diagnosis. We can handle both clients, where they're at. One can mask the other, as I've always seen in the drug court or in the mental health court. Before you can even address somebody's substance abuse or trauma, situation, we have to see, is one triggering the other. And as Lori's saying, it comes down to, can we get in touch with you? How can we restore your basic dignity? And part of that comes with, as we discussed on the other week, a cell phone. It sounds simple, a cell phone. No, you should be able to call your loved ones. You should be able to reach out to the vet and say, I'm having a very bad day, and can I just get a voucher for food for the bus? We have the Friends of Recovery. That's a group that comes in along with the blankets and the other things they help us with, but they are always ready with bus cards. Every court date, you can get home. You are not going to walk home. You're going to get home. Now, it's not everybody has a car. So where does this come from? This just comes from people in our system,
Yeah.
who both Lori has reached out to, who Judge Hooks has reached out to. And what does that mean to your caller? So when they look at their loved ones, it doesn't have to just be in Chicago. If you're somewhere else and you call in and we find out where you are, I will find out from our vet who is your local person to call. And we will one, get an answer, but for the veteran that comes into my courtroom, when you leave, it's a stepping stone. There's no downward, there's only upward.
That is tremendous. It really is, Brian, and I'm sure a lot of people have no idea, which is why we're so happy that you folks come in, because, you see a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
unfortunate.
Lori?
It is so unfortunate. And, but again, I will say the VA does step up. And the great part is that you have all these other organizations of people that create these organizations, that donate, get people to donate funds, that essentially help our veterans get themselves together. But another thing that happens in Veterans Court is something's coming up in May. Is it graduation?
Yes, thank you. I forgot about that. We have the graduation twice a year.
Okay.
General public, anybody's welcome in our courtroom. Anybody who has any affiliation with the vets or wants to encourage the vets, we encourage the people kind of in the middle, halfway through their probation, to come in and watch. Listen to the testimonials of the people who have succeeded and what were the hard knocks they took before they, realign themselves. So in May, I don't have the exact date yet. Judge Hooks will pick that. we bring in a number of groups. We have the honor blankets. Cliff, I wish you could see one of those honor blankets and when the vet puts it around him or herself. We will be starting the whole process for graduation. The wonderful thing about something Judge Hooks and the other judges would like to start doing is once we're done with you, we clean up your whole record. We want to put you back on the street, a whole restored person. Now that's going to take some time for us to get permission to not only dismiss and vacate the charge in our courtroom, but maybe anything else you have in your background. Show us that you're ready. Show us you're ready to get that job. The CTA Second Chance program, in which they become part of a union.
Yeah.
And then lately I've been going back to my chessboard. Let's have some good camaraderie so you can get the chance of, I'm winning. I won that game today. I'm going to
That's great.
succeed. So housing and potential May graduation, we will have it fully catered. Well, cookies and donuts and stuff. That sounds pretty good, like catering to me. And soft drinks, maybe even pizzas. Judge Hooks is fond of pizzas. And if he's listening, he can yell at me for saying that. But
That's funny.
yes, that's where we're heading in May.
And how is it that the vets get to the point of graduation? They're moving through phases, and how about the awards they get when they move through the phases?
When they first come to our program, we explain to them this is teamwork. We are no longer adversaries. We are fighting on your behalf. And the first phase one, is probably the quickest, 60 days of both seeing your officer, being clean, and reporting to court, usually weekly. Then as we move to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, we get, you have to report less because we trust you. But as simple as it sounds, we have McDonald's gift cards, we have Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, we have dollar store gift cards, usually in the increments of $10 or $20, plus that bus fare to get you home. And on your way home, you're going to stop, and we're going to get you something to eat. Simple. They love it. And also the candy bars. Friends of Recovery gives us boxes of candy, and not just candy, we also have health granola bars. So just in case you're not into, you're watching your waistline, we might have that. And that, because you sit through court for about 2 hours around lunch, this will give you something to snack on. Sounds simple, but in the recovery process, these things are really cherished.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just great. Lori, what else do we need to know?
Well, what we need to know is that our veterans are, we have to realize is that our veterans have families that they are living with, and that they're dealing with issues, and that I believe that at some point, and I believe some of the organizations may very well address issues with families, because I know that some of our vets, I was in court, was it 2 weeks ago, and we had one of the clients who had an issue. He apparently had an issue with a sister he was living with, and she, I think, did not want him to live there anymore. And I believe we're realizing or starting to see that sometimes, our vets have to work on their personal relationships with people. Sure. And I believe a lot of that is addressed in their group therapy. A lot of them do go to group therapy, and a lot of them go to just work on their relationships with people, particularly their families, because it can be difficult to live in a home. Is there any other issue or program that the court may implement that might address that, or is it just the agencies that come to court, like TASC or all those agencies?
TASC and the probation department are in constant contact with the VA to deal with the whole person, the family too. We would like that. What kind of ties into this, which I don't think everybody knows, if I could reemphasize, is that you can leave the service as less than honorable or other than honorable, and we will find you some form of service. You put in you got through basic training, you put in a little time, you're entitled to something. There's plenty of people out there that might be a little embarrassed. Well, I didn't finish. I didn't get out totally. We will turn that around. Until recently, you just had to live with it. But we will upgrade you, as we discussed probably 2 shows ago. How can we take you from, maybe you were youthful indiscretion or something happened, you stole a candy bar while from the, store or something, and then you're out.
Yeah.
Or you didn't tell the truth of your background when you came in and they discovered it, and then instead of a court martial, you just voluntarily left. But we can upgrade that. It might not be 100% services, but if there's any callers out there that are wondering, well, I did finish something. What could I, and I'm in need of help. I'm in need of, or if you got out 100%, this is something Judge Hooks did recently for a gentleman who had a Silver Star. He had lost his silver. This is a Vietnam vet. Lost the certificate from the, I think the director of the VA at the time pinned it on him. We made sure he got a new letter stating and the medal again. I mean, this was probably lost sometime in the 70s.
Yeah, sure.
And the dignity, I keep coming back to that word, of reestablishing who you were then can also be who you are now.
This is just great information. Our call-in number is 312-374-8130. 312-374-8130. We're so pleased to have Attorney Lori Roper with us, Supervisor of Problem Solving, the Public Defender's Office, Veterans Courts at 26 in California.
Thank you.
And
Thank
also,
you.
of course, Attorney Brian Scanlon, the Cook County Assistant Public Defender.
Yes.
And they just give us such great information. And again, if you want something that you want to question, 312-374-8130 is the way to do it.
And
Yeah, go
and
right
they're
ahead.
also recognizing with the upgrades is that people there were higher ranking officers who may have been racist, who may have just been racist
Sure.
and given someone a less than honorable discharge or something like that, and contributed to that, and it's being recognized that those things happened, and those things are being re-examined to assist in giving the upgrade to give someone. I mean, you may have someone who may be eligible for money that they have no idea they're eligible for. If they go and talk to someone about that, so they can. John Marshall
Yes.
Law School, those attorneys there deal with those upgrades. And is there a particular person that comes to the court to deal with that?
They haven't come recently, but we will finagle them to come back on in. There was a story they told me of a young lady who, through pressure from a superior, then made to be look like, she was a bad person. Through in a relationship with the superior, then she's thrown out. But then later they find out he was the bad person. So we were able to say, hey, well, let's give her an honorable discharge. Nobody believed her back then. This is going way back. This is probably 69 or something. She's an older woman now. And so now we do our best on that. And kind of like what I do, I tell Lori I do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But particularly Mondays before Veterans Court, I go around to the other courtrooms where there's new cases. Just ask, does anybody qualify that may have slipped through the system? Could you ask this one question? Have you ever been in the armed forces? Have you ever served your country?
Wow.
And then sometimes, as we say, that embarrassment, I didn't finish or I did, and I've got a problem. I'm a vet, but if I tell you, and I have this problem, of course, I'm in a criminal courthouse, it's just going to look bad. No shame, no judgment. Just let's
great
polish
thing.
this up.
Yeah, it
That
is.
is a great thing.
It
I'm
is.
sure. That's why we really are pleased to put on this show, because there are so many folks who don't have a clue that this sort of thing exists. Not only what people can do for veterans, but particularly those who have these problems like you folks take care of. It's just,
And your callers, we are,
Yeah.
we are 2 attorneys.
yeah.
If they have questions on can be veterans law. I mean, if it's other than that, I'd do my best, to steer you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And let's take any questions if anybody's got
Well,
any
we
questions.
have one right now. Let's go to the phones. Again, our number is 312-374-8130, and Pat is with us. Pat, hello.
Hey, Governor, how you doing?
I'm fine. Thanks for calling, Pat.
Pleasure to hear your voice.
Thank you.
I had a question,
Sure.
and I'm a vet. I was in the National Guard
Okay.
from Illinois, Chicago, actually. So,
Mm-hmm.
what my situation is this is I never ever and I didn't know I was entitled to how can I say this, to get my VA benefits or disability claims. So just got back injuries, sciatica, herniated disc and stuff like that. And I was discharged honorably, but under honorable conditions. And when you're in the Guard, you got to do I think it's a 6-year term or to collect your full benefits. So I just didn't know. And then as I got older, things kind of progressed just a little worse and worse. So just wanted feedback from you all. I just, when I tried to fill out the paperwork by myself, it was kind of hard, and I didn't know where to plug in stuff. So of course I listened to 1690. The governor always giving out information, and you guys on there. So I was like, wait a minute, let me call. So that's my situation.
Thank you.
That's it sounds like, and again, this is just my familiarity from talking to several veterans. It sounds like some of your issues may be service related, and that's going to be key. And there is an organization that will help you with the upgrade. If you can leave your number with the radio station, I will contact you back with the agencies that can help you with the upgrade. One in particular works out of Jesse Brown. And the name is escaping me right now because I just had this conversation with a friend. So, but the name is escaping me now. But I will get that name for you, and I will contact you to let you know the name of the organization, specifically one that's in Jesse Brown. What you have to do is go and have an appointment with them, sign whatever releases so they can work on your behalf. And they've had marketable success, giving people upgrades, raising their percentages so they can receive more money from the money that they deserve. It's not like it's a gift. This is money you earned.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
we just need to tap into it. So, Sir Pat,
Right.
if
Pat.
you would leave your number with the radio station, I'm Lori Roper. Myself or Brian Scanlon will contact you back with the information definitely by Monday, okay?
That's great, Pat. So call back and leave a number so these wonderful folks can. Okay, Glenda, she's getting it. That's great.
And Cliff,
I'm
I've
taking a
met the
producer.
physical therapist from Jesse Brown who work with the vets. He's got the disc problems. Let's get him right over there and let's get him into the physical therapy.
That's beautiful. Well, you folks are just great what you do. And, please, this is Attorney Lori Roper, Supervisor, Problem Solving, Public Defender's Office, Veterans Courts at 26 in California, and Attorney Brian Scanlon, Cook County Assistant Public Defender. They do such great work, and we are so pleased to have them come in and repeat. There isn't anything that you can ask that they can't answer. Okay, this the kind of folks they are.